Hello dear class 7 students, welcome back. So today we will complete the digestion in humans. We have started the journey from mouth, right? So ingestion is done, digestion is done because all the breaking down has taken place, right? Breaking down of carbohydrates to glucose, from proteins to amino acid, from fats to fatty acid has all been taken place. So digestion has taken place. Now what next? We have absorption. Okay, so whatever food that has been like broken into simple one, now it will go for absorption, then assimilation, then the last one, throwing of waste, would be egestion. So today we'll complete this. Clear? So now the foods which all the foods which have been digested are here. Okay, in the small intestine. Okay, in the small intestine. And now let's see how absorption takes place. Clear? How this absorption of food would take place. Now in the this small intestine is very important because all this absorption, assimilations take place here. Clear? Okay, now in the small intestine you'll find thousands of finger-like outgrowth. Okay, finger-like outgrowth. Like here you'll see like. Okay, if this is a small intestine, okay, then you'll see a finger-like outgrowth, 1,000 of finger-like outgrowth, okay, all the way. And you know this small intestine is 7.5 meter long, right? So you'll see a finger-like outgrowth in all the small intestine. And this finger-like outgrowth is known as villi or villi, okay? So villi. So this is the name given to the outgrowths, finger-like outgrowths. Clear? And this is very important because this will help in the absorption of food. Clear? Okay. So now this villi, it can be expanded. Okay, because now the more the food, more the digested food it is present in this small intestine, this villi would increase. Okay, it will increase the space area, and here you'll find in villi you'll find that there is enough blood supply. Clear? Enough blood supply. So absorption of food takes place from here. And once the food is being absorbed, okay, once the absorption of food is done with the help of this villi, now in the small intestine, it is passed to all, okay, it is passed to all parts of the body, and it is in the form of assimilation. Clear? Assimilation is whatever food that has been absorbed is passed to all parts of the body. All the parts of our body, they have different requirements, right? So this in the form of assimilation will be sent to different parts to perform the duties, everyday activities. Clear? Example like proteins, okay? Example like protein or whatever that has been broken down, protein, if it breaks down to amino acids, now this protein is a rich source, okay? Protein is a it's a bodybuilding food. It will be sent, the energy we should get from protein now after this, through this assimilation will send through the muscles, will send through the tissues. Clear? So in such a way, now all that the foods that were broken down will be sent to different parts of body through this assimilation. Clear? Now what happens to the undigested food? Okay, we have discussed about the digested food, but undigested food. All the food will not be digested. This small intestine also has some limitation. Clear? So now the undigested food will be passed on to the large intestine. Okay, you remember this one. The undigested food will be passed on to the large intestine. And the large intestine, you'll find right after this small intestine, you'll find large intestine. Okay, so this is just a rough diagram, but large intestine you'll find here, and the undigested food will be passed here. Clear? And what happens here? What happens here is now the maximum absorption of water and mineral salts will take place here. Clear? So, and at the end of the small intestine, you will find rectum, okay? Rectum. You will find rectum. At the end of the large intestine, you will find rectum. Then there will be a small opening that will be anus, okay? So now what happens here? After the absorption of the undigested food, now there will be semi-solid, okay? Semi-solid food will be stored here, okay? Will be stored here. What happened to the water? Because everything has been absorbed here. So now the semi-solid particles are stored in this rectum. So this has to be removed. Clear? So now it will be removed and it will be thrown from this anus, okay, in the form of a waste. So now whenever you sense that like this is filled, this rectum is filled, and then you have to throw nature call, I'm sure you all know, clear? So all the waste have to be evacuated from here, clear? From the anus. And removal of waste is egestion. Clear? So we have finished absorption, assimilation, and egestion. The last part of the digestion, alimentary canal, we end from the anus, where we remove the waste. Clear? And in the rectum, what kind of food, what kind of particles do we store? Semi-solid. Okay, semi-solid particles are stored because maximum absorption of water and salt has been taken place in this large intestine. Clear? So remember all the steps one by one from the first part till egestion. Clear? So ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. You remember this for the digestion in humans, and also you have to remember all the juices which is produced in the stomach, okay? And then you have to remember the absorption and the assimilation which is taking place, digestion which is taking place in the small intestine. Clear? And you have to remember, in the small intestine, you have to remember this villi. Clear? Which is a finger-like outgrowth, which helps in absorption. Clear? So we are done with absorption of, we are done with the digestion in human, okay? So the next we will start with digestion in amoeba. Okay, so students, we are done with digestion in humans. How like the digestion of food take place inside the human stomach, right? Inside the human beings. So now next is digestion in amoeba. What is amoeba? Okay, amoeba is a microorganism. Here, this type of microorganism are made with just one type of cell. Clear? In human beings, we are composed of many cells. We are multicellular organisms. But these amoeba, they are composed of only one cell. And even amoeba, they have to go through this digestion. Clear? And everything will take place inside just one cell. Okay? So amoeba, there's no regular shape. It's very easy to draw, students, because they don't have a fixed shape. It can be just in this form. And just one cell, in this cell, they have a cell membrane, okay? They have a cell membrane. You'll also find a nucleus in amoeba. So let this be a nucleus. And then they have many bubbles-like structure, okay? Bubbles, so that will be a vacuole, okay? Vacuole. And this vacuole is very important because through this, the digestion in amoeba take place. Let's say this is vacuole, okay? V-A-C-U-O-L-E, vacuole. Clear? And this is the cell membrane. And there are cytoplasm present inside this single cell. So this shape is very regular. It can be any shape, clear? Because they can change its shape. And this is a very small structure, very small structure. I'm just giving you a rough diagram. It can be even in this way or it can be in any form, okay, amoeba. Now, they feed on, these are microorganisms, but they feed on another microorganisms like algae, okay? Algae is also a microorganism, but for survival, even for survival, they also need food, right? So they feed on these microorganisms like algae. Clear? Okay, so the process is similar. These are also holozoic. Clear? Holozoic. Holozoic means, do you remember, students, intake of solid food, right? Or complex food. Okay, so these amoeba are also holozoic. So the digestion, they have to follow the same process like us, humans. So they also have to go through ingestion, okay? They also have to go through digestion. They also have to go through absorption. And they also have to go through assimilation. And the last, egestion. Clear? So they also have to follow the same process like us. But this amoeba, how will they how will they ingest the food? Okay? So you see this one, this cell membrane, okay? This membrane, here you'll find pseudopodia. Clear? Here you'll find pseudopodia. I'll spell that for you. P-S-E-U, pseudopodia. Okay? Remember, this is very important for amoeba. In amoeba, this is very important. Clear? This pseudopodia is very important. This is very important because this helps in locomotion and also on feeding, okay, in feeding. Now, the spelling would be P-S-E-U-D-O-P-O-D-I-A, pseudopodia, okay? Pseudo means it is false, okay? False. And then podia means feet, okay? Feet. But it's not visible, right? Okay, so now how would they feed on this algae? Clear? When they're hungry, okay, or when they sense that these microorganisms are nearby. Clear? When they sense that this microorganism or algae are nearby, when they sense, what they do is that they just grab them, okay? If this is an algae, then what they will do? They will just grab like this, because through this pseudopodia, because the main function of pseudopodia is there is a locomotion, there is a movement, okay, and also there is it is used for feeding, okay. So this, with the help of this pseudopodia, they will just grab the algae, okay. So that means this ingestion has taken place through this pseudopodia, right? Now, how would the digestion take place? Because this is done with the help of pseudopodia, and now even the digestion, the same thing, the same process take place inside this one cell, okay? It's amazing because just from a single cell, the same process like human beings is taking place. So after consuming this microorganism, now for digestion, it will be sent to this vacuole, okay? It is passed on to the vacuole. Inside this vacuole, there are enzymes, okay? Because even they are holozoic because they have already consumed the solid particles, right? So this complex particle, it has to break down, because without breaking down, the digestion would not take place. Because even this one cell organism needs energy, clear? And that will get only through breaking down. Breaking down means digestion has taken place. So now the food particle inside this vacuole, with the help of enzyme, will break down. and we can say that digestion has already taken place. Clear? And the same thing goes like for after that it will be absorption, okay? Absorption of food particles. Now whatever food it has been digested will go for absorption. And everything would take place from the vacuole here, just in a bubble-like structure, okay? In a bubble-like structure. Everything will take place here. Now, once this absorption is done, now this amoeba also, they have, though a single cell, they need energy. They need maintenance, growth. Clear? So, now the food that is absorbed from this vacuole now will be passed on to different part of this cells. Okay, it will pass on to different part of this cell for energy. Clear? Okay, now this would be assimilation. Okay, now assimilation is done, and how would the egestion take place? Now there will be some food particles which will be undigested. So the undigested food particles would evacuate, okay, from the cell membrane. So what happens? Okay, the undigested food particle would reach here in the cell membrane, and the cell membrane will blast, rupture, okay, and then it will be thrown out from here, okay. So in this way, since this pseudopodia has a locomotion, what happens to this? Their structure is they have an irregular structure, because they'll just move around. When they sense food, they will grab. So in this way, they don't have a fixed shape. It is irregular. So you keep that in mind. Okay. Okay. So we are done with the digestion in amoeba. So you have to remember that they are also holozoid like human. Clear? And the process of the digestion also will be the same. They have to go through these 5 steps like us. Clear? And here, one thing you have to remember, I am repeating again, but like I said, when I'm repeating something, it is important, okay? You have to remember this pseudopodia. This is the main part inside this amoeba, because this is helping them to grab the food, okay? For survival. For survival, everyone needs food. Clear? Okay. So this is how the digestion takes place in the microorganism, one-celled organism. So students, we are done with the digestion in human, digestion in amoeba. Okay. So make a note. You have to make a note. Okay. You have to make a note, and you have to write all the important functions. Clear? So since we are done with the 2 important topics, digestion in human and digestion in amoeba, we'll see some exercise question. Okay? Very quick exercise question. Okay, so students, we'll just end this session with 1-2 question. Okay? So from this question, so it's like a game, it's a quiz. Okay? So what is the other name of esophagus? So that will be a food pipe, right? Esophagus comes right after this buccal cavity, right? Okay, now villi. What is a villi? Where is this located? It is located in small intestine, right? And there it is 1,000, we'll see 1,000 of finger-like outgrowth. And so that you'll find in a small intestine. And this villi helps in absorption of digested food, okay? And then one thing you have to remember under that, the functions, is that they also have enough blood supply, which is going to help in absorption and then assimilation. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. Clear? Now you have to remember these functions. Along with that, one question would be about the teeth. Okay, milk teeth and permanent teeth. How many milk teeth are there? 20, right? And how many permanent teeth are there? 32. Clear? Okay, and which teeth? Molar, I'll give you 4 options. Molar, premolar, and then we have incisor and we have canine. So which out of these 4, which is used for biting? The front part, incisor. Okay, good. So these are some important questions from this chapter. We'll start with another important topic in the next class. So make a note, stay safe students, see you in the next class.